Mao Zedong was a literature lover and a great copywriter.
Hello everyone, I'm Mao Zedong. I was born in 1883 in Hunan province. My family was a farming family, but I was born into what is commonly referred to as a landlord family, and we were financially well off. My father was a tyrant who was constantly abusing his wife and children at home, and I wanted to leave home as soon as possible. Growing up in such a family environment, my hobby was reading. I love books and have read many different books. China is a country with a rich literary character. In particular, it has produced 4 great classics over its 5,000-year history: Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Water Margin, Journey to the West, and Dream of the Red Chamber. I was especially fascinated by Dream of the Red Chamber. By reading the mysterious novel that depicts the culture of the aristocracy during the Qing dynasty, I acquired literary knowledge and honed my skills as a copywriter. When the Xinhai Revolution occurred, I was 18 years old and volunteered for the Revolutionary Army. Then, at the age of 25, I encountered communist theory and became devoted to it. At that time, the Chinese Communist Party was closely aligned with the Soviet Communist Party. All the officials were elites who had received communist education in Moscow. The elite officials said that, like in Russia, urban workers should be the center of the communist revolution in China, but I came up with a different slogan. The countryside surrounds the cities. This slogan came from my belief that communism would not take root in China unless the peasants were mobilized. I was constantly fighting 3 big enemies: the Japanese army, the Kuomintang led by Chiang Kai-shek, and the Chinese Communist Party elites who had been educated in Moscow. I fought these big enemies with the following slogans. Politics is born from the barrel of a gun. Communism is not love. It is a hammer that crushes the enemy. Finally, I defeated these 3 big enemies and declared the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. After this, I advocated, "Let 100 flowers bloom and 100 schools of thought contend." This was a slogan that said, "Everyone, say what you want to say, and let's have a debate." However, at first, everyone was wary, and the movement did not gain much traction. I said that if Marxism fears criticism, then it is wrong to fear, and that any criticism will not be punished. This created an atmosphere in society where it was considered wrong not to criticize, and a great deal of criticism began to emerge. So I labeled about 550,000 people who really criticized as rightists and sent them to concentration camps, where about 300,000 lost their lives. In 1958, I initiated the Great Leap Forward to strengthen the country's economic and military power. The Great Leap Forward was a movement aimed at establishing people's communes, collectivizing agriculture, and increasing steel production to surpass Britain's. The people's communes took the lead in steel production, with each commune building numerous small blast furnaces and initiating production. Although the quantity was produced, the quality was unusable junk iron. Additionally, the culture of farming in groups was not familiar to China, and sabotage was common, resulting in a sharp decline in agricultural production. As a result, it is said that between several million and 40 million people died of starvation during the Great Leap Forward. The wide range of these figures indicates the chaos in China at the time. In 1962, I finally admitted the failure of the Great Leap Forward. I was compelled to address the Great Leap Forward policy at the party congress, as I had no choice but to criticize it. After that, Liu Shaoqi and Deng Xiaoping took charge of the economy and began to achieve results. At that time, I was anxious because I had seen the fate of many leaders who had fallen from their seats of power. I took a gamble. In 1964, I published Mao Zedong's Quotations, which is a collection of my famous catchphrases. I appealed to people to place importance on politics and ideology and not to forget the class struggle. This is similar to how politicians raise issues of education and security when the economy is in recession. I tried to shift the public's attention from the economy to China's identity. In 1966, I initiated a movement known as the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution. I created the slogan, "Young, unknown, poor people do the most work, and revolution is not a crime." Many young people responded to this. The destructive behavior of young people began. Young, unknown, poor people started to go wild. They were known as the Red Guards, and the people were plunged into a state of deep fear. Young people with Mao Zedong's quotations in hand paraded through the towns in groups, destroying old things and arresting those who were thought to be intellectuals and began to torture and massacre them. Both Liu Shaoqi and Deng Xiaoping were ousted due to the influence of the Red Guards. But at that time, I could no longer stop the movements of young people. So, I launched the policy of sending the Red Guards down to the countryside. I created the slogan, "There is much to be done in this vast land of China," and sent young Red Guards to remote rural areas. The Red Guards went to the countryside with great enthusiasm, but many of them had a tough time there. Many of the Red Guards were born and raised in the city, and they had no idea about the real situation in borderland China. This weakened the power of the Red Guards in the cities somewhat, but this period of terror continued for about 10 years until I died in 1976. It is said that the number of victims of the Cultural Revolution ranged from several million to 20 million. The wide range of these figures reflects the chaos in Chinese society at the time. You can read more about this at Kitan Club, the site run by this account. Please search for the hashtag Kitan Club or visit kitan-stories.com and navigate to the homepage. Thank you.
Kitan Club invites you into mysterious stories. Click the link in our profile or search kitan-stories.com. We look forward to your visit and will provide you with free samples. Please click like and subscribe.